Hey everybody, welcome back to Juju's Journey. I am so excited. It's going to snow. Oh, you just have no idea. We love the snow. We love the snow. I live in South Carolina. We do not get snow that often. This past weekend, you know, the whole entire country, I think we were under that winter advisory. They said we were, even where I live, they were saying that we were going to get 2 to 3 inches of freezing ice. Thank God it shifted and we did not. We only had a little bit of ice. We only missed 1 day of school. And nobody lost electricity in my town. So we did good. So we prepped for that. You know, you have to prep. Everybody buys all the bread. Everybody buys all the milk. Everybody buys all the eggs. They buy it all. I don't do that. We never did that. We do prep, but we don't prep like that. But this is a different story. This weekend is supposed to be snow. No ice. No freezing rain. Just beautiful, glorious, glorious white snow. And that makes us happy. I mean, it makes me happy. I don't know about everybody. But you know, like a couple of weeks ago, it was 80 degrees. 80 degrees in January. And then we had this little cold snap come in. And the highs have been in the 40s this week. Last week, before this really big cold front, it was still a cold front, but it was like in the 50s. But now highs have been like in the 40s, and it's been dipping down into freezing temperatures at night. But we're going to get some snow. My son-in-law came over and got the side-by-side out of the garage because I have these double gates, wooden gates, to get in that portion of my driveway in my garage. And we were thinking, if we're going to get a foot of snow, I'm not going to be able to open up those gates. So we decided to go ahead and get the side-by-side out and put it under their carport so we can possibly pull everybody around tomorrow. We don't have a sled. You know, we don't. So we'll probably rig up something, I don't know what, like a swimming pool, plastic swimming pool, and rig up something just to, you know, sit in and get pulled. We don't have hills where I live, so you can't slide down a hill. We can build snowmen. We can make snow angels. I really want to take the snow, and have y'all seen it? And you put your face in the snow, and it's like your whole face. I do want to do that. So hopefully there's going to be a vehicle or something that's got enough snow that I can do that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be really fun because my granddaughter is 6, so you know she's going to enjoy it. My other grandchild that lives here, he is only, he's almost 2, in June he'll be 2, so he's not going to enjoy it that much. And then my other grandson, he is just a little over 1 year old. So they're not going to enjoy it too much. We'll just let them look at it and then probably get them back in where it's warm. And my daughter, the one who hunkered down with me last weekend, she's going to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning because her fiance, he's got to work. And he has to be at work at 6. So she said she's probably going to be here before 5. So she's going to wake me up for me to go open up the door, but her little honey's going to get in the bed. We're not going to wake up that early. I hope not anyway. And so she'll get to play with us all day tomorrow. She's excited. And other than that, I can't even imagine how excited we're going to be. Today has been a good day. Of course, I've been in a slump again. That's okay. I miss my husband so bad. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to find joy in every day, joy, joy, joy. And today, my daughter is a dental hygienist, and on Fridays, I leave my daughter, who lives right next door to me, alone. Her husband works from home on Fridays, so we don't bother them. We let them do their thing. And then my daughter, who's the dental hygienist, their office closes at 12. So normally on Fridays, we'll go grab lunch. And so today we went and grabbed lunch at our favorite little restaurant. The best little restaurant that really to have lunch. We try to go around and eat other places, but it's really our favorite. And sometimes I don't know why we even attempt to go other places. But we had lunch there, and then we went to Habitat for Humanity. We were looking to see if they had any sleds. Last year, they had these plastic little sleds. They must have had 100 of them. And we said we should have bought them. They were only $5 each. And they were plastic. And we said we should have bought some last year. But we didn't. I don't know why we did not. But we didn't. And so for some reason, my daughter thought maybe they'll have some more this year. It's not like a retail store. Somebody must have donated their overflow to them or something. And so we didn't have any luck there. And then we ended up going to Goodwill to see if we saw anything like that too, and we didn't. And last year when it snowed, my daughter had bought her daughter a snowsuit, the boots, everything. They were prepared for it. But this year they're not. And so we were seeing if we could find some more boots for the kids because they don't have any at our Walmart. They're all sold out. And so we were just looking to see if we could find anything waterproof so they could play out in the snow longer, but we didn't have any luck. And then we went to another little dime store. It's called Rose's. And we shopped in there. But guess what we decided to start doing? Oh my goodness. They had, I think it was 3 feet tall, or maybe 4 feet tall, a tube. And it was just a tube with Play-Doh, Play-Doh, Play-Doh on top of each other. And it had little inches, so it must tell how many feet it is. And it was only $10. But then they had like this, I was doing the price analysis. Then they had like just the normal Play-Doh that you would buy. It only had like 6 in it. And it was like $7. So I'm like, that's the best deal. Like the really good deal. And I said, that's going to be sold out for Easter. You know, that would be a cute little Easter surprise. So my daughter and I decided, because she doesn't have children, she's the aunt. We decided to look and see what we thought that would be good to get for Easter. Because what they do is they get out of this little place gets, I don't know what you would call it, overstock, or they get discontinued items. So sometimes you can find some really, really good things, and you can find them for really good prices. Anyway, so we found a few things for all 3 of the littles. My other grandson lives in Maine, and so I usually just send him money, or I'll do something off of Amazon and have it shipped to him. But anyway, we got stuff for their Easter baskets. I've got to go through my receipts because I did start saving. You remember? $5 a week for Easter for things like that. I know I spent my $20 that I've already saved, so I'm going to have to pull that 20 and start doing an IOU, you know, until I get caught back up. But I have to go through my receipts and see how much damage we did. Not a lot, but I know I spent more than 20. And so when I go through those receipts, that'll be of course, whenever I do my cash stuffing. I don't know what I did wrong, y'all. I sat down last night and did my budget. My electric bill was sky high. I mean, it was $150 some odd dollars higher than it was last month. So I had to go through my budget, and I had last month's that I was kind of going by, and things that I was going to cut out to make up the difference for my cash stuffing. Well, I wasn't going to sit there and do the penny to the penny or whatever. So somehow I ended up like $250 ahead. Like, in other words, I was accounting, like I'm not stuffing like tax prep and Amazon Prime and month ahead. Like, there's so many categories that I'm not stuffing. So that left me with $250 cash that wasn't being spent. And I used the zero-based budget, so all of my money's got to be spent ahead of time. But I don't keep it in my checking account, so I can put it somewhere, tuck it in the back of my binder, and at the end of the month, I can just stick it in one of those envelopes to make it right. So it's no big deal. It's just the point that, when you're doing the cash envelope stuffing, you want to spend all your money and you want to make your money work for you. You don't want to be stressed out. Like I'm paying now I'm paying my envelope for 2027 car insurance and house insurance and saving for my future. I'm saving for, my future adventure. I'm saving for my future vet bill, I'm saving for Christmas dinner, things like that. I'm saving to buy an outfit, maybe, I'm not going to go to the store and just buy an outfit. I have to kind of save for it. I don't really go shopping anyway. But, anyway, so that's basically, that kind of blew my mind. But I'm okay on that, too, because as long as I have it in my envelope, in my binder, I'm going to be okay. I'll be able to pull it and put it where it needs to go at the end of the month. That's why I like kind of pulling the $3,000. It just makes sense to me. But somehow I ended up only pulling $2,900 to make that make sense. I don't know. I got up this morning. I guess I was so excited that I was going to go eat lunch, and I was hungry. I did my budget last night, but this morning I did all my tally. Where you tally and figure out how many ones you are going to need, how many fives you're going to need, how many tens you're going to need, things like that. I try to space that out. I don't do it all at one time. But, maybe I should have done it last night when my mind was on it. I was too worried about jumping in the shower, and I was hungry. I was almost hangry. I was so hungry. My son called and he said, "Why don't you come to Florence and eat with us? We're in Florence and we can all eat together." And I said, "I'm not going to make it to Florence. When she gets here, we're going to eat lunch. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast. I haven't eaten since dinner last night." And I said, "And it's cold and I'm hungry. My body's saying, feed me, feed me." But it did. We had fun, though. We shopped the whole entire store, and I almost bought my little girl, Gabby. I didn't. But they had a little backpack that was like a little kennel cage that had the mesh. I could put my little girl, Gabby, in this little zip-up little carrier and then wear her on my back. I don't think she'd like that, though. I think I would like it, but she wouldn't like it. So I put it back. Now that I'm on this spending cash only, I really do think a lot about what I'm going to buy. I do have my $50 a week Juju money I can spend any way I want without any questions asked. But I was like, I think it was only like $12.50. And so that's how I was going to say. I said, oh, it's only $12.50. But I decided, no, I need that $12.50 I've got to pay for my hotel room. You know? So I didn't spend it. But I did buy an Easter little Circes for my grandchildren. So that's exciting. I did do that. I gave myself that. And then, I don't know. I don't know what else I did today. It seems like I was busy. We did not get home until 5 o'clock. And she came here at like 12:30. She was a little bit later coming. But we piddled. I mean, I did go to the grocery store and get a few things for the weather, but I didn't get anything in case the electricity went out. You know, I eat next door. But the weekends I might have to do lunch, you know. So I have, my favorite is Tostitos pizzas. I love those. And chicken pot pies. So my emergency food for the weekend are Tostitos pizzas and chicken pot pies banquet. I love banquet chicken pot pies. So that's it. And just pray that if the power goes out, I'll have my little rubber boots on and trek through the snow to go next door and eat a sandwich. I wonder if they bought bread. I haven't talked to them today. I thought about making some homemade veggie soup. Everybody would have loved it except for my son-in-law. And anyway, we didn't even go to a typical grocery store. We went to Dollar General. That's where I bought my food from. I got that. I got a pack of drinks. And I got some coffee creamer. And I'm good. Good to go. And that's it. That's all I can tell you. Life is good. I can't complain. My daughter and I did run out to the graveyard to see if they put the one on my tombstone. My husband and I bought the double tombstone, so he's on one side, and then, of course, I'm on the other. And then we have the urn in the middle where you can put flowers. And then it says married and the date that we were married. Well, we didn't notice. Everything happens in December. Always in my life. I mean, just crazy. Like I had one child on December 22nd. I had another child December 26th. Our wedding anniversary was December 13th. My mother passed away in December. Gabby, stop. I don't know. A lot of stuff always happens. My husband passed away in December. December is just always has been a weird month for me. And, but we were there, and it was, I think it was on the 1 year anniversary of, well, I shouldn't even call it an anniversary, of when he passed away. And my daughter and I, one of my daughters looked down and said, y'all got married on the 3rd? And I said, no, we got married on the 13th. This whole entire time, and we go and change his flowers quite often. I mean, since the stone has been there, his grave marker, I can guarantee you I've been there at least 10 times, if not more. Not just alone, with my family. And we've taken a little broom and cleaned off dirt. You know, we've done a lot of things to that little tombstone. Taken pictures of the flowers that we arrange. We're so silly. We tried to make our flowers better than everybody else's. It's just something we like to do. Like, we really like making things like that pretty. And, but anyway, we'll take a picture. Like, we can see everything. And we never, ever noticed that they didn't add the one. And so I did call them. on the 11th of December, and they said that they would go out there and add the one. They left the space. I'm sure they do some type of engraving machine, and it just missed the one, I guess. And he went back and looked in his notes, and he said definitely it was supposed to have a one, and he apologized, and I said no problem. But my daughter was upset. She's like, they need to get out here and fix this. And I'm like, Maggie, give them some time. Give them some time. And she's like, well, they're going to forget about it. And then they're going to, and I'm like, nah, just wait a minute. Calm down. Give them some time. It's fine. They'll fix it. Y'all see all that? That is, for people who don't know me, this is not my den, okay? This is my craft room. That just happens to be a couch that's in my craft room. And like, this is my craft table, you know? And I'm sitting at a desk with the camera looking at me. So, actually on a swinging stool. Woo. Gabby, stop. And then, but I never did list any of that stuff. I gotta get my acting gear. February, I said I was gonna start gun-ho in January. Well, I didn't. Maybe I'll do it in February. And that's supposed to be my vacation money, y'all. For the list on eBay. I've got my little bags here. I need to order some more. This is what I put my merchandise in and store it until it sells. So it's not, you know. And I store it in my little bins. I don't know if you can see. Hold on. Here's some. I have like all the way to I. See, there's my bins. They've got the lids on them. So I have SKUs. Hold on, let's see how this works. Come on, open. So let's use this one for example. So I have SKUs on my store. This is A17. So of course, I would go to bin A and find A17. And this is a vintage Denim and Company jean skirt, embroidered flower, size 1X. I've already got my thank you card in there. And it's folded nice and neat. And then I can just put it in a poly mailer and ship it out. So this bin's pretty full. So that's how my little system works. I think I'll go all the way to and all of them are pretty full right now. But I definitely need to add a lot more to my eBay store. It doesn't work unless it's like anything else. It's like anything that you do social media wise online, the algorithms. So the more you list, the more views you'll have. Things like that. And I get it. They're not going to bump people up to the top that's not going to make them money. If I haven't listed anything, I'm not putting that as my priority, right? So I completely understand. But, you know, when I do work my eBay store, I do really, really good. And I would say 95% of my merchandise was given to me. It was it was my aunt who was like my mom's, her personal belongings, her clothes. This woman was a shopaholic. It's not like cleaning, like if you went and cleaned out my closet and donated it to Goodwill, that's one thing. No, honestly, you would not believe the amount of clothing she had. She had the biggest walk-in closet. And it was so jam-packed, you could not stick your hand in between the clothes. Then, and she had a big master bedroom. They had a huge walk-in closet. Then she had 2 standard double closets, you know, with the louver doors. Those closets were jam-packed full. You couldn't put your hands through them, right? Then she got from Belk or one of these department stores, they were getting rid of something, but one of those round racks that you go into a clothing store and put clothes on, when you go shopping. She had one of those, jam-packed, could not stick your finger through it. She also had another straight one, same difference. Then her 2 guest closets were the same way. A lot of items were brand new, had the tags on them. But she was a shopper, and I'm not saying that she wasn't wealthy. Like, I'm sure people will go buy Lululemon and all that kind of stuff. But it was nothing for her to have a pocketbook that she would pay $600 for, and she had tons of pocketbooks. If she liked something, she liked nice clothes. That doesn't mean she wouldn't go to Walmart and buy some clothes too, but she knew how to mix and match them. She did not leave her house unless she was decked out. She was, always dressed. I'm sure if she were in high school, she would have gotten best dressed. And so whenever my Aunt Debbie, we inherited her stuff, right? And I said, I just don't know what to do. But I was already selling on eBay, me personally. But I was going thrifting and buying stuff to sell. So I said, you know what? Some of this stuff I don't have a problem with donating it. And I said, but these clothes made her so happy. I said, let's list them. And I said, and that can pay for all of our fees. Like when we have to pay the house insurance and the house taxes. And then when we have to do all the other little stuff that you have to pay for. I said, let's see if we can sell these clothes and pay for that. And so we did. I mean, I knew exactly what was hers. I started listing, and her clothes were selling like hotcakes. I can list something of hers right now, and my phone will go ka-ching. And then and then I'll have like 2 more sales in the next day or so with her clothes. Things that I go buy, they'll sit there way longer than what her stuff does. And so I said, oh my gosh, this is giving me so much joy, not because I'm making $5 profit. We could have had a yard sale. But every piece of clothing that I do, I steam it or I'll iron it. Sometimes I'll wash it, and then iron it and do all that stuff. But I photograph it. And at that time, I had a little mannequin I would dress and take good pictures. And, but then they've changed and you can do all this stuff with your phone now. You don't have to have that picture. You can put backgrounds, everything else in your photos. But it just gave me so much joy because I was able to touch all of her stuff and kind of say goodbye, And, that made me happy because, when you're grieving. And then it just makes me laugh because she would tell me all the time, you need to do, like, let me style you because I'm not one to be about clothes, She goes, let me style you. Like, she was so upset when I went gray. I mean, like, because she's like my mom and she's not gray, but I'm gray. She did not like that. Her nails were always done. Jewelry. I don't wear jewelry. I do wear necklaces now. I wear jewelry now but these are sentimental. This is my husband's thumbprint. And this is my wedding band and a cross. It doesn't, I lost it, so I'm not wearing it on my finger anymore. I'm going to wear it around my neck. I won't lose it, hopefully there. And I stuck it with this cross, so it looks cute, I think. But I can't wear earrings. They break my ears out. Even gold, all of that. And I'm got short, fat fingers, so I've never really worn rings, ever. Even my wedding band, I outgrew it whenever, with my last pregnancy, and it never fit again. I didn't even want a diamond because I don't do jewelry. So, and now I'm wearing a bracelet. My daughter's got me wearing a bracelet. I don't take it off. Those are my children's birthstones. She got that for me for Christmas. And then this one I will take off at night and put it in my jewelry box, but this one never comes off. That's my husband's thumbprint. They do that now. All of my children got together and gave that to me for my birthday last year. That was sweet. And you know what they did? Because this is not like when you order through those companies. The funeral home will give you a code with, they'll take the fingerprint and then they put it in the computer, and then you can get your whoever's loved one's fingerprint on. That's gold. And it's heavy. It's a good piece of jewelry. It's not flimsy. It's good. And of course, they didn't buy they bought the necklace and everything. But I mean, I would say that this was probably like $800 to $900, maybe even more. And so my kids all pulled together and got that for me for my birthday. But in order for me to be surprised, they all went and bought gifts. Like, I got a nice bottle of perfume. I got an umbrella and a citronella candle. And I got, what else? I think I got some flowers in a pot and some potting soil. All of these things because they wanted to make it look like I was opening up gifts from them for my birthday, because they wanted this to be a surprise. And then whenever that came around, when I opened it, I would be really surprised because they had already given me, Christmas. And it was a box and a box and a box and a box and a box. They started out with a big box, and I opened it up, and then I had to unwrap another box and then unwrap another box all the way until I got to this. They really went out for me. It was fun. And let me tell you else what they did. So, we like to, well, I haven't had a alcoholic beverage since December 26th. I did drink one mimosa with a friend, but I mean, I don't really count that. But no, it's not like I'm out like all the time. But on my birthday, we drank beer and we like to sing karaoke. I don't like singing karaoke where it's just you singing. We like to hear the artist and just sing with the artist on microphones. But they let me do my whole playlist. Can you imagine? Because I'm everywhere, woo, I go down to Bobby McGee, to Pink, to Cat Stevens, to Rod Stewart, to the Black Eyed Peas, to everybody. I mean, all in between, all genres, everything. Kid Rock, I mean, you can name it. Casey Chambers. I don't know if y'all know who Casey Chambers is, but I don't know. It's everywhere. But they did it with me. My children knew the words because they all know the words because they listened. Their dad loved music. And I like music too, but he really, really loved music. And he was really up on new music and, of course, old music. But he would know a new artist when they came out, like, there's just so many artists in my head right now that they didn't even know, like, most people don't even know exist. And yeah, they do have hits. Maybe you do know, but I don't know. He's just good. He'll say, oh, I just watched this person. I can't even remember, radio something. he would watch Radio City, and he would say, I want you to write that person's name down. They're going to make it. And 99% of the time, he was right. But anyway, we miss him. But no, they did good. I've got ADD, so I don't even know what I was talking about before I did the squirrel. But anyway, y'all have a good night. I just had to tell you, I'm so excited. It's going to snow, and guess what? This will not get done this weekend because I'm going to be out in the snow. I'm going to be in my hat, my scarf, my gloves, my heavy jacket. I'd never put on a jacket. Only when it snows. So we're going to have a good time. Anyway, God bless. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. And I will talk to you later. Bye.